Jonah's in trouble.
Oh, Mr. Tyrone. I just gotta get freaky for you because you love the hoes.
I don't care if they don't like me. I came here to stunt. Yeah. I don't care if they don't.
What's good, everybody? Don't forget to hit your like on your way in. We're gonna get active, alright? Shout out to mediocre. But we're gonna go through basically what's been going on, and I've been kind of analyzing this for the past couple of days on Mr. Jonah Hill and his ex-girlfriend. And basically what's been going on is that his ex-girlfriend decided to put him out by putting out conversations that they have had over 2 years ago, mind you. Over 2 years ago. Conversations between Mr. Jonah Hill and his ex-girl, okay, Miss Sarah Brady. Now, basically, what started all of this was one of her posts went viral about basically her having like bikinis and one pieces, bathing suits on her Instagram. Now, when they had this conversation, this was in, from what I remember, like December of their relationship, right? They started dating, if I remember correctly, in August of 2021. They had this conversation in December of 2021. So I don't know what was happening between August and December for him to, you know, in that moment discuss that. And I don't know if she was cherry picking certain things that he said to her, you know, to make her own narrative. And you can only really go by specifically what you see in terms of the conversations that she chose to put out there to the world. Now, very interesting, right? Because we're going to discuss this and really narrow this down, but off rip, right? When I first heard about this, I thought Mr. Jonah Hill was a little crazy, all right? And I do have to respectfully disagree with how he went about the bathing suits and stuff like that, whatever the case is. Now, everything else, we're going to get to that in a second. But you know, if you know somebody that has a certain caliber to them, if you know somebody that have a certain way of them expressing themselves, you can't get in a relationship with them and then try to narrow down or limit how they express themselves. You can't go out and date a OnlyFans girl, go for an OnlyFans girl, and then tell the OnlyFans girl she can't do OnlyFans no more. You can't go and date a dancer, and then once you get with the dancer, tell her she has to give up dancing for you. You see what I'm saying? So if you like that person, if there was something, if that was a certain element or a key that you liked about that person, let them be that person while you're in a relationship with them. Don't be trying to change up things and now all of a sudden you got boundaries. This is the same thing with Keke Palmer's boyfriend, where he was talking about, you know, you shouldn't be out here wearing that dress. But you also knew what type of woman she was and how she dressed and how she conveyed herself. It is what it is. But at the same time, there's a flip side to Keke Palmer's situation and also to this, and we're going to get to that in a second, because very interesting how Miss Sarah is getting support, but Keke Palmer's boyfriend wasn't. Hold that thought, though. Hold that thought. So we get into like the beginning of these type of conversations. And, you know, this is when she was like, this is a warning to all the girls. If your partner is talking to you like this, make an exit plan. Basically, he was like, respect however you want to live your life. You only get one sort of done with explaining myself, which basically is implying that he has talked about this more than once. Okay. She says, I removed 3, you know, not the video yet. It is my best surfing video. Would you feel better if the cover frame was different? He said, yes, one that isn't of your ass in a thong. Not a thong, but okay. And this is what I disagree with Mr. Jonah, right? If you know that she was a surfer, if you know that she dressed this type of way, there's no reason for you to go into her life and then tell her she got to take down these videos, take down one of her best surfing videos that got views and she probably monetized on social media, probably gets money through social media brands, whatever the case is. And you're telling her to really just compromise who she is as a person, her occupation, her hobby, her passion for you. I don't agree with that. But they go on further into the conversation, he starts to list things, and remind you, this is in December. They started dating in August. This is in December, right? He says, plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, wow, to model as well? That's crazy. To post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. She says that he's using the misuse of the word or the term boundaries. I'm 50-50 on this, right? Because if these were his boundaries, then there should have been no pursuit of anything further, right? At the same time, if there was an equal of exchange of them being in a relationship, and he was like, these are things that, we may have been hitting it off, we've been talking, we've been doing this, that, and the third, but if you want to go further on into this relationship, these are the things that I just can't get down with, that I see from you, and if you choose to do that, no hard feelings, no harm, no foul, but I don't think I can get with a woman like that. You can respect that. I can respect that. Those are his boundaries. Those are his standards, right? At the same time, it's very interesting how I see some of us fellas. We like to have our playtime and have fun and date and whatever the case is with these type of women that we somehow can't see ourselves having a long term. And I'm not saying we can't have our little fun and have our roster and all that type of stuff. I ain't telling you that you can't have your funs. But there are some missing pieces in this negotiation, in these conversations between Jonah and Sarah. From my understanding, they said, because the article said they started dating in August, so I'm assuming that they're somewhat in a partnership at this time, right? And I also find that a little petty that she brought these up 2 years. 2 years, from 2 years ago, they already been done, broke up, and went their separate ways. But for some reason, she feels the need to show the world their personal conversations. We'll get to that in a second, along with talking about Keke Palmer's boyfriend. She says this is the misuse of the term boundaries. I don't think it's the misuse of the term boundaries. However, if he has been talking with you and doing certain things and whatever the case is with you, and if y'all were in a relationship at this time, then yeah, I mean, these are things that you should have been looking into before pursuing a relationship with her. If you knew that she was surfing with me, if you knew that she had unstable friends, that alone, that's a red flag. If you knew you didn't like her in bathing suits, if you knew of her occupation, of what she does for surfing, and that by default would be her in a bathing suit, there's no reason for you to come into her life and then for you to try and change her. Just find somebody that meets your boundaries, that meets your standards, instead of going into a woman's life and doing those type of things, right? But I do respect that he told her, and I'm not saying he's being disrespectful, because he let her plainly and blankly know, I may not be the right partner for you, and if these things bring you happiness, I support it, and there would be no hard feelings. But these are my boundaries for romantic partnership. And from that type of talk, it seems like that they were kind of like dating. They were seeing each other, but she wanted something farther. And he was like, well, these are my boundaries. These are the things. So it could be that case as well. But like I said, there are some together the way that it should, right? We go on further into their conversation, right? And I don't want to go through all the whole conversations and everything like that, because there's a lot of conversation. There's her going on and having one-page essays about everything, like talking about why they ended off, and her getting her and them sexting And then he going to getting in a relationship right after that. Like, it was just different things that are going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, all type of stuff is messy. And then when she put out the messages and the conversations and stuff like that, he was like, I can no longer trust you. I can no longer, now I'm going to have issues trying to trust being in a relationship with another woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe you did something like this. And see, this is when we get down to the nitty gritty of like men being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? This is when we get down to the nitty gritty of why men don't want to express themselves to women. Because I cannot tell you, I cannot express to you how many times me as a man, I have been exposed by other women, that I have been humiliated, embarrassed, made fun of by other women because I was emotionally vulnerable, because I wanted to express my love, my compassion, my care for them, that I actually invested myself into the relationship, and then they put it back on me. They put me up on their page, or they share text messages and screenshots with their girls and talking about he a bitch. Oh, he a wimp. He. I can't tell you how many times. And this has happened to a lot of other men. The reason why you have some men who are just really nonchalant to themselves is because they don't want to be taken advantage of. And you may think that's toxic, but is there a better solution for them? Do you have a better solution for these type of men? There are men who have talked to really good women who at the time they thought they were really considerate of their emotions, really considerate of who they are as a person. And the moment that they get mad, the moment that they snap, everything breaks loose. Everything shatters. Now they feel like you did them wrong, so they're going to do you 2 times worse than that. You hurt her feelings, now she's going to try and ruin your reputation. You rubbed her the wrong way, okay. Now she's gonna try and text your friend or somebody that you used to talk to, or she's gonna try and make a rumor up, or whatever the case is. There are some women out there like that. And it's due to those type of actions from those females that men stay to themselves. And I don't condone men not being communicative. I'm not condoning men not being able to communicate their emotions and their feelings. What I'm saying is that the reason why you have men out here who have a lack of trust, who are very, very hesitant to express themselves to women, is because they have been taken advantage of emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you know? So, you go through these conversations, and I'll have the link to the article below. But, I'll read this part, right? So he said in one of their messages, he was like, screenshotting intimate texts between us is a huge triggering violation for me and breach of trust as a friend. As I have explained to you about breaches of trust I have had between trusted friends recently that have caused me trauma. I am incredibly hurt and feel a lack of safety where I have always trusted you. I'm sorry if a former partner moving on is painful, and I empathize with that, but I have done nothing wrong, and if I wasn't a public person, I wouldn't face this kind of violation and have shared that with you. And then watching you be like this today shatters my ability to trust any further, or trust anybody any further. I have always shown you kindness and support. But based upon these messages, you can clearly feel his sentiment. Like you can clearly feel his passion, his emotion. You can directly read the language and tell, like, he's not coming from any form of hate. He's not coming from a place of being spiteful. He's not coming from a place of trying to be controlling. He's coming from a place of understanding. I even saw some text messages, and I don't think they're in this article, but that he was actually willing to work with her through her emotions, work with her through, her transforming into a better person, not necessarily, being the person that he wants her to be, but being a person that's best for herself, and he also talked about in a text message I saw as well on social media, like, she's always willing to be one-sided in a conversation or in an argument. She's always willing to, it's either her way or the highway type of mindset like that she has. And you know, he made it very known, like, I've always shown you respect, I've always shown you support, even if you make points that, you know, where I have messed up, I've validated them, and I also, you know, showed you my perspective and how I feel about this. And as she is showing this to the world, you have a whole set of women who are just attacking Jonah Hill. A whole lot of women who think he is a wuss, that he has no right. Look at how he looks, and look at how he dressing, and look at his body type, and he don't have a right to tell her how to live her life. He don't even look like this and this and this. Coming at this man's whole life. They supporting her for putting out their intimate text messages, conversations that they had in private. She's getting applauded. When Keke Palmer's boyfriend went on Twitter, expressed publicly how he felt about Keke Palmer wearing that dress, he gets shamed. Why? Chance the Rapper, out here at a fete having a good time. His wife gets on Twitter and talks about the situation indirectly. She gets applauded. Why? Why is this one-sided? Why is it that a woman, because she's emotional and she gets in her feelings, why are her actions condoned and validated, but when a man expresses himself emotionally, he gets shamed? I'm not condoning Keke Palmer's boyfriend's actions, but why is he getting shamed and these women are getting applauded? Why is it that when these type of situations happen, you always tell the men, y'all wouldn't be able to understand that you're not a woman, you're not even in tune with your emotions? Why would you try and gaslight men to validate your outrageous actions or these women outrageous actions? I fail to understand that. And that's something that's just not adding up to me. You know, that's something that just isn't clicking to me whatsoever. This double standard that we see with men and women of this day and age. It's like accountability is a kryptonite for a lot of these women that you see on social media, and maybe some women that you might know in your personal life. The last text that I'm going to show, and then, like I said, I have the article linked, and you can watch, you know, the rest of the text messages that they have on the article. But one of the last messages that I'm going to go over, he says, "I have nothing to hide in my life, but I am still entitled to safety and privacy just like you or anyone else. Facts. I thought you understand and honor that this has really shattered my sense of faith in that you were a human I could trust. I thought we would always be friends, Sarah. I've done nothing wrong, and I'm sorry if you're bummed out. I'm sorry if you're bummed, but this line of texting today has really deeply let me down and broken my trust as a friend." She says, "I'm just showing your own text to me. Can you put yourself in my shoes for a sec, how I might feel gaslit by your behavior and communication? And he says, I am happy to speak on the phone, but no." Because what is showing here is that she refuses to see the other side of the bargain. It's showing that she refuses to hold some form of accountability for exposing their conversations that were just strictly between them. She couldn't even acknowledge that it was a little messed up that I showed our private text messages to the world, that I exposed certain information between us and about us. Did everybody need to know that y'all were sexting? Did everybody needed to know about y'all conversations about social media and y'all relationship foundation during that time? What was the point of this? Because you were in your feelings? You felt like the whole world, millions of people that you don't know, needed to know about what was going on between y'all. For what? For validation? To make you feel good? For people to pat you on the back? Tell you how brave you are? What was the reason? There was no reason out of this. You over here telling him, can you just put yourself in my shoes and not gaslight me? What a cop-out. What a cop-out. A woman, and by you talking about he's gaslighting you, you're gaslighting him. Ain't that a trip? By you saying he's gaslighting you, you're gaslighting him. You're not even being considerate of his emotions. He has told you that he is shattered. He has trust issues now. He thought that he could really just be, private with you and have these type of conversations with you, but now you out here going bogus. It's not like y'all are teenagers in high school. It's not like y'all are the typical average person on an everyday basis. Y'all are celebrities. High class celebrities, might I add. Jonah Hill has been in all type of movies. All type of movies. I mean, this man isn't just like your average Joe in a movie. He's not an extra. This man was on 21 Jump Street. The man was on Super Bad, The Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, this man has been in movies. He was just in You People with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy. I mean, like this isn't. So for you to go out of your way, it's one thing if y'all the average person. I mean, it's still disrespectful. I'm not, like I said, I don't, I ain't gonna condone that, but y'all aren't just the average person. So for you to put that type of information out there, that could literally, I'm not saying it's gonna ruin his reputation, but people are going to be talking. People are going to be making memes. People are going to be making comedy stand-up jokes, and he's not going to hear the end of this. He's going to get humiliated. He's going to get made fun of. They're going to talk about his body type. They're going to talk about he don't even look that good. They're going to come at him, but they're going to applaud her. She's going to get praised. She's going to get more followers. She's going to get more publicity. She was inconsiderate of this. She didn't think of this long term. She didn't think out her actions, especially for her age. How old is Sarah? Sarah is like what? In her 30s? Let's look this up. How old is Sarah Brady? 31 years old. She's in her, like I said, in her 30s. Miss, you are in your 30s. Acting like this. I knew women like this at 21. You're 31. Acting like this. This is beyond me. I'm not gonna front to you. There are times where, and even till now, like, I have issues explaining and expressing myself. I used to be that man that used to write essays in DMs, essays in the text messages, really pouring my heart out to women, and for it to just be discarded, for it to just be shunned, and for me to be made fun of for having emotions and not being man enough, my masculinity, my manhood being attacked because I have emotions, I have feelings, I invest in myself. And then for a woman to, there's been women that have made fun of me for it. Women who have turned it back around. You not man enough. You soft. These text messages, she gonna put them on Snapchat. She might put them on Instagram. She might tell her whole girls, whatever the case is. And it's due to that. And in some situations, I have issues trying to explain myself. So when you come across, for the ladies, you come across a really good man, you might see a man you see potential in, but he has issues expressing himself. Take some time to understand why. Ask him some questions. Study him. Learn it. Like, if you really see value in him. I ain't telling just the average Daquan. All right, I'm talking about a Tyrone. But take some time. Like, what were your relationships like? What was the first relationship where you couldn't trust a woman, or when a woman betrayed you, or what was the first time that a woman disrespected you, or the first time, or the what was the first time, or the most recent time, or when was this specific time where a woman just outright disrespected you or betrayed you, or where you can no longer trust her. These are things you can just specifically ask a man. You can share your feelings and your process and your stories so that you can get those type of things out of him. So you'd be like, oh, that's why he's like that. Oh, that's why he don't want to talk about these type of things. Oh, that's why he gets shy when talking about these type. This is why he don't want to go down that pathway. Some of us fellas, we just don't want to go down that path, or we don't want to get too much into our feelings, or we don't want to express that we might like somebody or love somebody because we don't want to get hurt. As much as men try to claim that women are more emotional, women are more in tune with their emotions. Don't get it twisted. Men are just as emotional. arguably could be even more emotional than men, more than women. Men could be just men are just as emotional, and it could be argued that they are more emotional than women. It's just that a lot of us refuse to tap into that and learn how to control it and have emotional intelligence. And of course, we express our emotions differently than women. Don't get it twisted. But when it comes to men expressing their emotions, they get made fun of it. So men don't like to stay in tune with their emotions. They don't want to be one with them because they don't see power in the vulnerability of expressing their emotions. They don't see the power in it. There's power in vulnerability, but a lot of us men have never been taught to see that. Women have been taught that there's power in vulnerability because they get some benefits and some advantage out of that. Men have been taught that if they're vulnerable, especially in the public eye, they're going to get shunned because a man needs to man up. A man don't need to cry. A man don't need to express his emotions because what need does he have of that? And it's due to that a lot of us men, we just stay out of the way. We just refuse to express ourselves. A woman could just be expressing herself all the way, just yelling, screaming, whatever the case is, and he is void. And she's just sitting there wondering, like, why haven't you, it don't seem like you invest in the same thing that I'm putting in. The thing is, he might invest even more in it than you are. But he is not going to go out of his way and start with you. He's not going to go out of his way and do all this type of stuff with you. He's been through this before. He don't have the time of day to going back and forth and yelling with you back and forth. He don't have the time of day for that headache. Some of y'all women are headaches. And ladies, it takes more than just you telling a man,
this is a safe place. You can express yourself. I swear I won't judge.
Because we've heard that before too. We've heard women say, it's okay. I won't tell nobody. If you've dated girls back in high school, these type of things have happened. No, you can tell me. It's okay. You don't have to tell. I won't tell no. At the moment that y'all get in a fight, the moment that she gets mad, she uses it against you. When she can't combat you in an argument, that's the low blow. Whenever you was in your most vulnerable state, whatever you expressed to her, she uses that. That's why you can't get nothing done right. That's why you couldn't get that job. That's why you couldn't do this. That's why your mama this. That's why this person, she will use things because she's up in her emotions. A woman who can't control her emotions is a wrecking ball. A woman who can't control her emotions is a wrecking ball. That ain't the wild woman. The wild woman causes rage, no doubt. Khalid causes havoc, no doubt. But a woman who is reckless, stay out of her goddamn way. You don't want to mess with a woman who is reckless. Anyways, I think I've talked long enough about this. I ain't even mean to go off like this. But this type of stuff really upsets me because I can truly, genuinely empathize with Jonah Hill. At first, I couldn't. At first, I just saw the bathing suit text, right? But I didn't know there were text upon text upon text upon text. Like, for me, from what I first understood, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if you knew that she was out here wearing stuff like this, like, you shouldn't have been, getting with her in the first place. But there was bigger. I just saw the smudge on the picture frame. All right. I didn't see the whole outline of this. She tripping. She bugging. I don't stand with it. I can't condone it on no basis. So, Jonah, you gonna get through it, bro. Jonah, you gonna get through. You know what I'm saying? If it's possible for you to sue her, get something done for exposing y'all intimate conversations. I don't know. I don't even know how that works. But in your bag, all right. Don't even let her get you down. If anything, you got way more success than her. She bugging. But y'all let me know how y'all personally feel about this conversation between them. And, do you stand with Jonah? Do you stand with Sarah? Are you in between? You just don't care? Let me know in the comments respectfully below. And but before you go, though, you might want to check this video out because this video here, bonkers. All right, you don't want to miss this conversation that I just dropped that. Just check this out. Yeah. I'll see you the next one.